Hello collective, and welcome to your all signs reading for the Mercury retrograde, which is tomorrow. We've been in the shadow period of Mercury retrograde for a couple of weeks now, and maybe you've seen some themes that have been popping up in your life. Maybe you've seen some clues for what you could be facing. Let me just say early on in this video, sorry if you hear music upstairs and you hear my family, but I really need to get this video out and I couldn't wait any longer. So I was feeling the energy very strong today. So I was like, no matter what's going on upstairs, we're just gonna be doing this video. So if that bothers you, sorry. There's not much I could say about it. So what we're going to do is we're going to look into the energy of all of the signs, how we're all related in this dark matter, how we're all moving through these energies on the planet right now. Remember, as I'm speaking, the energies can be reversed, so assign the roles as you please, and this reading will not resonate with every single person because it is a general reading, and it will resonate with my soul tribe, and those people who are not in my soul tribe, then it won't, and that's just the way that it works. So if it doesn't resonate with you, I apologize in advance. These messages are timeless, so it doesn't matter when you're brought to this reading or this channel, there is something in it for you. During all of my readings, the angels are bringing the Holy Fire Reiki energy to you. If you're wanting to know about the Pisces full moon that we just had, it is in the top of the screen. There is a link to the all signs reading for that one. Otherwise, you can check out your playlist for your sign, and then you can find the one that's specific for your sign. As I do the October readings, we will be talking about Mercury retrograde in those readings because pretty much most of the month is Mercury retrograde all the way until October 18th. And then we have a couple of weeks of the shadow period, which means it gets lighter and lighter as we get closer to November. At the end of those videos that I'll be doing very soon, we'll be releasing the trapped emotions for your sign for that month, the essential oils, I'll tell you which ones will be great for you, and the crystals to help you maximize your energy. So make sure that you check out the description box of all of those videos. I am doing personal readings, so in the description box you can check out my website for the details. If you like this reading or entertained in some way, don't forget to like and subscribe. Hit that notification bell. This way you get notified as soon as I post something new. And all of my readings, I always start out with, I'm only accepting the highest and best truth for our highest and best good, bringing forth the most accurate answers possible. So I'm going to do something a little bit different. I'm going to do every single sign, but make sure that you're here for all of them because every single sign works with each other in some way to build the bigger picture. So I'm not going to separate the signs in this video. We're just going to read the energy that we're all dealing with. Now, it plays out differently in everybody's lives. But the energy is still the same. And you know that because when you talk to your friends, there's very similar energy about what's going on, but it's playing out, the details are playing out much differently in each of your lives. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to start out with the theme, and then I'm going to get an overall advice. And then we're going to get another advice card, and then I want to dive into these two first to figure out what's going on energetically, and then we'll look at the 12 signs. I want to thank all of the people who've already subscribed and supported me to 2,000 subscribers. Thank you. You are my soul tribe. Thank you so much for being here. If you're new here, I want to thank you for coming and checking out my channel. I also want to thank the people who've donated, the people who have clicked on the links in my description box, got personal readings for me, who texted me and told me and commented and told me how all the readings have been helping them. That's why I do these readings. So I really appreciate all of that. Thank you for watching my videos a bunch of times and watching the ads that are associated with my videos and all of those things. I'm going for a goal of 3,000 subscribers. So if you've not yet subscribed and you'd like to support this channel, I would appreciate it if you took a second to do so. All right, let's find out the theme that we're dealing with. Oh, wow. We're dealing with the theme of loneliness. So I know, and the affirmation that comes with that is, I know that I am never alone. You're never alone because God is always with you. But that is the theme that we're dealing with. And it's also about changing the deep-seated loneliness that a lot of people are feeling. And that could be lonely in your career, lonely with friends. It could be lonely in your love life. You could be in a love life and still feel lonely. You could be with friends and still feel lonely. So it's loneliness starts when we are born because we're separated from source and we're separated from God. So the loneliness starts well before we even get to know our parents and get to know our siblings and all of the things that happen to us when we are younger. Okay, so let's find out along with the theme, I want to find out also, let's see if we could dive into that a little bit more about the loneliness. So Mercury retrograde is what we're asking about, and Mercury retrograde is in Libra. Libra is the sign of balance, balancing all the things in your life, looking at every single aspect. So for instance, I homeschool, so I'm looking at the way that we homeschool, like, is this really beneficial? Are we doing busy work? I hate busy work. I just want to make sure that the kids are being able to learn the things that are essential to life, and add things, take things away that are of the ancient ways of doing things, the way we've always done them, and bringing in more of the things that they're going to need in life, like financial literacy, maybe if they want to learn coding, if they want to learn a language. Those things are really important and kind of left out of the curriculum. So it's looking at our curriculum and balancing that out a lot more, and not having the kids doing 8 hours of homeschool when that's ridiculous, right? So, and then balancing the love life, balancing the money. We've had a lot of people who have gotten letters, especially the Scorpio collective, have gotten letters saying that, oh, massive amounts of money, come to find out that they really don't. So there's some amazing things happening. I have friends who have gotten new jobs, gotten more money in the job. I had a friend, and she's going to watch this video. I just love her so much. And she basically just up and left her job without a plan, but God had her back. So it was pretty awesome to watch. That was awesome. And that was a Gemini collective. So Gemini, some of you guys are dealing with moving and doing these beautiful things with your life, which is awesome. Okay, so let's find out what's going on. I want some advice for the Mercury retrograde. What's going on? What are we dealing with? What are we doing? Oh, these are beautiful cards. It's about that spiritual union. So is it going to be about love? It could be. It could be about the twin flame soulmate cycle that we've been dealing with for a while for a lot of us. It could be bringing in the spiritual union within yourself. It could be, this is spirit. Look at this beautiful card of these two people could be coming together. It could be the masculine and feminine within yourself. It could be the actual masculine and feminine of the twin flame cycle. Twin flames don't always have to be romantic. Lots of twin flames could be mother, daughter. It doesn't matter what the gender is of the masculine feminine role, because people can play those in many different ways. It does have to do with some sort of heartache and loss. Maybe that's where the loneliness comes in, right? It could be that. But at the end of this all, it's going to be about prosperity, because Libra is the sign of money as well, of pentacles. It is the sign of balance and money. So think about in the law, there's that statue that has balance on she's holding the balance scale. So balance also has to do with legal, it could be legal matters as well. Lots of those things. So this is really cool, because the card of Libra is the justice card. So that can tell you it's about fairness and truth, justice. If we just look at the sign of Libra and what could possibly be Mercury retrograde be slowing down for us to reevaluate, remember, Mercury is all about reevaluate, redesign. If you have re in front of the word, then it's good. If you're starting something brand new, you could have problems with that. If you've already started it and then it's going into Mercury retrograde, it's going to be fine. It's just like if you start something really brand new during Mercury retrograde, you have to check all the details and make sure that all the T's are crossed and all the I's are dotted. It's not a time for you to be haphazardly looking at things. It's a time for you to be more detailed and precise. Mercury stresses to us to take time to slow down our lives and re-look at everything, rebalance, reassess. Those things, bringing mental clarity to the bigger picture of our lives. Okay, now let's look at, this would be advice. So let's dive into these cards right here. I hope that you had a good Pisces full moon. It looks like it brought a lot of blessings in for people. I'm hoping that you were one of those people that got a very awesome blessing. A lot of times blessings come from the fact that you have done your inner work. So if you are ignoring some inner work stuff and you're like, no, I'm just not going to do that, well, then your blessings take a little bit longer. So the more that you go, you know what, that's a scary thing for me to do, but I'm going to go ahead and do it anyway. I got to always check to make sure that my recording is working, because the Mercury retrograde messes with technology as well. So, yeah, so just make sure that when something comes up for you, don't shove it under the rug. Go ahead and have the courage and the bravery to look at it, so that when the blessings do come, that you're ready and available vibrationally to receive. That's basically it in a nutshell. All right, so our advice through this Mercury retrograde is going to be, don't let your past hold you back. And that's what this is, the heartache and the loss. Don't let that hold you back from your prosperity and your blessings. Remember I said you need to dive into whatever's showing up for you. Mercury makes you do that. Makes you look at something and don't just go, oh, yeah, I remember that. No, be like, you know what? Yeah, let me take a look at that. And how did I behave last time? And what can I do differently this time? And it's a more mature way of looking at things, a more logical way. And yeah, emotionally you want to feel it, but logically you need to plan your way out of that in a different, more productive way. The end of a tough cycle is approaching. We know that because we have the spiritual union. We have change is happening. We have the loneliness of the past. That's what we're working on. That's the past thing that Mercury retrograde is bringing up. And we're having a change that's going to take us to the end of a tough cycle. And it's about balancing spirituality and practicality. Libra is all about balance. Anybody who is Libra, whether that's sun, moon, and rising signs, you guys are going to feel it bigger, okay? Which means that you can get bigger blessings. So just because you're feeling it a lot stronger doesn't mean that it's glutton for punishment or anything like that. No way. It is about, if you do this, then your blessings come. So, and that's the way I look at things in my life now. If I'm brave enough to do it, and I'm brave enough to dive in, I have seen where the blessings come from that. So that is good. Okay, so let's move into one more deep dive on what we're dealing with this Mercury retrograde as a whole collective, as everybody. We're going to be doing individual signs soon. We're going to be in the retrograde when we do it. But they're going to be my October readings. This is just the retrograde reading overall for everyone. And then we're going to do October readings that are really going to dive into the energy of October and the retrograde, so you don't know what's going on. Okay, it is about relationships and growth. We know that. And creativity, being a little bit more creative with our hopes and dreams. So we know that it's relationships because it's spiritual union. So it says new partnerships are coming your way. Reassess the present relationships and leave behind those that do not support you. Be clear about what you're committing to. Growth requires you to step out of your comfort zone. Growing pains can help you in gaining wisdom and experience. The old must be left behind before growing into the new. That's what we're doing here. Mercury retrograde always makes us reevaluate, reassess, relook at things from the past and decide how we're going to move forward and what energy we're going to bring with us. Creativity is take a risk if you are to lead a creative life. Invite creativity into your life. Create something new for yourself. So I was just talking to this beautiful lady today, and she is a shop owner, and I've been making some jewelry for her, and she's beautiful, just a beautiful soul. And we were talking about our lives being very creative. There is, and I had expressed to her that there is no end. There's no finish line. It's not a rat race. It is you create, you enjoy what you created, and then you're going to want to create something new. It happens all the time. So don't feel bad about yourself if you're like, oh, I'm stuck in a stagnant period. The stagnation is not a failure. The stagnation is for you to look at your life and say, what do I want to create now that I've already created what I have? And so that's just a different part of manifestation, a different part of the way we live our lives. We're taught that there's this finish line and you got to get to the finish line and you got to be the best and da 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 da. And that's not true. We are here to create. We are creatures of creation. That's all we do is create. So once you've created what you wanted and it's manifested and it's beautiful and you've enjoyed it to its fullest, and then you're going to want to create again. I said, look at Albert Einstein. He was like in his 80s or whatever. I don't know how old he was, but he was old. He's always pictured as being really old, still working on the board with some math, creating stuff. He never quit. And if people quit, we wouldn't have the amazing technologies that we have today. We wouldn't have a telephone. We wouldn't have light. We wouldn't have any of these things because people quit. So we don't want you to quit. We want you to continue to create always. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to do 12 signs. We're going to do Pisces first. It's going to be in the order of whatever these signs are, which I have a feeling are going to be backwards from the way I just did the reading. I think Virgos might be out of place, but we will see. But it doesn't matter because the Spirit knows the papers and where they're at with those papers. And I'm actually going to move these so we can see, because it's going to fill up all of that, I'm sure. I don't know how long this reading is going to be, but I'm going to hold these out in case we need to refer to them again. Okay. So I'm looking for all 12 signs in the order of the papers. And I'm not going to clarify. I don't know. I might. I'll try not to. We'll see. I don't want this video to be like 2 hours long. That can happen. Because Spirit loves to talk. They love to help. They love to help you. So I'm just here channeling information. All right, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Oh my goodness, I got to have a peek at the bottom card, which we just talked about, is relationships. Oh my goodness. So I have a feeling for those of you who do not want a love reading, then this might not be your reading, because I have a feeling that's where we're going. Or some sort of relationship of love. It doesn't have to be love. It could be a choice. So let's be clear for those people who don't want to talk about love. But love does make the world go round. So it is about a relationship. It is about a choice. It could be about the twin flame cycle. It could be about a soulmate that you're really close to. It could be, and the soulmates don't have to be love, but it could be love. It could be love that is presented in a different way, where I said siblings, mother-child, parent-child, that type of stuff. It could be that relationship. Well, it could be a career relationship too. There are a lot of people who watch these videos, so depending on who comes is what it is. All right, so it's coupled with the Queen of Pentacles. So we know that Libra is the sign of money. Libra is the sign of balance. In this card, there is balance between the masculine and the feminine. It's balanced energy, okay? This card is about, she's very, very reliable. She's well off and generous, very affectionate. And I have a feeling the Libra energy is the energy. It's about being wise in your decision making. It's about caring about for other people, being good with your finances, balancing your finances, balancing your health, balancing your sex life, balancing your time you spend with your children, balancing your life in such a way that you can take care of your body, your mind, and your spirit. Okay. It's about balance. And I've seen that people are making some changes already that are bringing in balance into their life, which is beautiful. Okay, the first one we're going to start with is Pisces, because that is the full moon that we just had. Now, I don't know why they're starting with Pisces. It's a way that they are, but it could be. Could be because that's where we're coming from, the full moon in Pisces. Let's start there. But I have a feeling we're going to be going backwards in the signs, but let's find out. All right, but Pisces is about temperance. Temperance is the time is right for this. The universe has been putting together this beautiful plan for you, and the time is right for this to be happening. So Pisces is about the energy of divine timing, divine guidance. It's about balance, once again, moderation, patience, and purpose. Anything that is in balance, we're starting to look at all of those things right now and making them into balance. So it could be anything, all right? Self-healing is one of those things. Realigning yourself to your spiritual purpose. All of those things are coming into play. So you guys might be getting readings and finding out what your spiritual purpose is because of this energy that we're reevaluating our lives, reevaluating every aspect to balance it into what you need and want for right now. Because we're always changing. We're always changing as humans, and what was good for us yesterday may not be good for us today. So every day is a different day. Every day is a new birth, a reborn of energy. Okay, so, and one more thing, they're telling me to tell you that energy overlaps. So the old energy will be there with the new energy. They intertwine like this. And then as one starts to take hold, the other one starts to disappear. So if you're seeing some of the old energy, it doesn't mean that's where you are. It means it could be fading out of your life and bringing in new energy. Okay, so let's see. The next one is Aquarius. Aquarius is bringing in the energy of the Knight of Pentacles, which is a slower moving energy, but it is an energy, feels to me like Mercury retrograde. Mercury retrograde is not really moving backwards. It appears to be moving backwards because it slows down so much. And Mercury is the planet that's closest to the sun. And so, it's close to the earth as well, but it's closest to the sun. So it starts to lighten up the things that we need to brighten up the things that we need to look at on purpose. And some of those things aren't pretty, right? But it's asking you to slowly move through this energy on purpose. Be consistent. Think about the long term. Think about its steady movement. Plan more. Mercury retrograde is the phase of planning in your manifestation. This is not really the stage of fruition. Now it can be if it's been something that you've been working on and you're supposed to get a blessing during Mercury retrograde, you will. However, a lot of the blessings don't really happen until after Mercury retrograde. Until the shadow period, you start to see the blessings come in. But you're going to see things really get worked through during the retrograde so that it can work out perfectly in the way that it's supposed to. Aquarius is also reminding us about the dependability of this time period for us and how important it is to stay loyal to yourself and to know that you will succeed because money will improve during Libra. I wouldn't doubt it if Congress ends up doing the stimulus that they've been working on right now. They're working on a stimulus in the House, and then they're going to be passing it on to the Senate. They're going to be voting on that. I wouldn't doubt that if all of that gets worked through during the Libra retrograde, and then the blessing of the stimulus for people who need it come at the end. And so the stimulus that's working in the House right now is $2,000 for adults, only adults, $2,000 for the first month, and then $1,000 for each adult after that for 6 months. So if that ends up going through, that would be a blessing for the people who need it during the Libra Mercury retrograde. It's kind of just giving you an example, like the House and the Senate and Congress might be working on that and massaging all the details the way Aquarius says to do it. Be very diligent about what you're doing and then creating all the details and planning everything. And then I wouldn't doubt if we see the blessing happen either at the end of the retrograde or probably more than likely going to be hitting November, okay? Or I'm sorry, not November, the middle of October, which is the other thing. Money always improves at the end of the month. For some reason, I don't know why, it's just the way that it works. And it's so crazy because people are like, oh, the end of the month, I'm out of my paycheck at that time. But a lot of the blessings actually come in at the end of the month. So just like the energy just picks up for some reason. It's slower at the beginning of the month because it's getting rid of the old energy and it's bringing in the new energy of October. And then by the end of the month, you're going to really start to feel those blessings coming in. All right, so the next one is Capricorn. Capricorn, Jupiter's been in Capricorn, probably, I think it's in there until November, which is love, luck, and money. So Capricorn is a very diligent sign, and it is a very responsible sign. So those people who have been working with Saturn on their responsibility of money, I have a feeling that Capricorn, being that Jupiter is in Capricorn, and Capricorn is a very loving sign, but it's very practical and supportive. It's beautiful. Okay, something's telling me that Capricorn and Saturn are really closely related. But anyway, and Saturn's about karmic lessons. So Capricorn, what are you bringing into this? So the 10 of Pentacles, that is beautiful, Capricorn. This is inner happiness, dreams come true, fulfillment. So the 10 of Cups, I might have said 10 of Pentacles, I meant 10 of Cups if I said that. The 10 of Cups is about your dreams. And if you have any issues with family stuff, it might come up, disputes might come up, but it's really about honing in on your inner happiness. And I have a lot of Capricorns that are actually working on their inner happiness right now, which is really beautiful. And so that makes sense. A lot of us are, but Capricorn specifically, there's been a lot of eye-opening experiences about their self-worth lately, which has been beautiful. So I love that, Capricorn. Thank you for bringing that energy. Scorpio. Scorpio's the one that had all the money stuff coming in for the Pisces full moon. They had those money issues coming in, and then all of a sudden they're getting resolved. If you're Scorpio, just be on the lookout for something like that. If you get a letter, something that's saying they owe money, you're probably going to have the documentation that allows you to say, oh, no, I don't actually owe this money. Okay? Scorpio, you are bringing in... The world is upside down. Scorpio is a really emotional sign, but Scorpio is about seeing things in a more clear perspective. Scorpio, the sign, they're very analytical. Most of the Scorpios that I've met are very strategic and analytical people. So this is about seeking personal closure, not taking shortcuts. And if you're feeling delayed, understand that it is the energy of Mercury retrograde. So we may get some delays during the Mercury retrograde, which is pretty normal for Mercury retrograde. So if something's being delayed, don't fret. Don't be like mad. Don't be upset. Just be like, oh, it's the energy of the retrograde. I'm just going to let that pass. I'm not going to get attached to that. Because if you want the World card to flip upside down for completion, because at the end of this, you'll have accomplishment and completion, and integration into your lives if you take the energy and flow with it. So Libra is an air sign, so you need to be more like the wind. Normally we say be like the water. Scorpio is a water sign, so Scorpio is saying be more like the water and be flowing. And you know, when there's a tree in the way of a river, the river just goes around the tree. Same thing with the wind. The wind can pretty much blow through a lot of things. Except for like buildings and things like that, but it'll blow around it, right? So same thing, go around whatever's causing a delay, don't get stuck on it, don't get upset about it. Let's find out what's happening with Libra, because Libra is the Mercury retrograde sign, so let's see what's going on. Libra's bringing that Queen of Cups to you, so this is a lot of love. That's what this is. This is Libra's working on the love within yourself, the way you feel about other people. There's going to be a lot of love flying around during this Libra retrograde, which is going to be beautiful. Mercury retrograde in Libra. So the Queen of Cups is about compassion and being calm through this time period. If you start to feel like the waters are getting really rocky, know that you can get through it. It's about having comfort. So Libra is bringing in the energy of comfort. So let's go back here. So we have relationship stuff coming in. It's about balancing our lives in so many different ways. It's divinely guided, so it's time to do it. Like, we can't wait any longer. We need to do this. We need to actually look. It's going to be slower moving energy on purpose because we need to be able to reevaluate, re-examine, re-everything. And it's about what brings us inner peace and inner happiness. What are the things that are shattering our dreams? What are the things that make us feel broken? What are the things that we're arguing about? You know, do we need to really do that? Can we seek our personal closure on these issues without taking shortcuts? And can we move through even though there are delays? Can we move into completion of these issues, these things that are going through, and bringing love into the situation, calmness within the situation, knowing that it doesn't have to be wild, it doesn't have to be a tower of the whole world crumbling down, and it doesn't have to be ugly. You can still be compassionate with someone as you move through arguments. You can still be calm as you talk about things that hurt you. You don't have to explode, be angry. That's not the energy of this. This is more free-spirited, free-flowing energy. It's not fiery energy. This is not fire. The Sagittarius collective, which is a fire sign. So let's find out what's going on with the fire signs. What are you guys bringing in, Sagittarius? Which Sagittarius is the most positive sign in the zodiac. So let's figure out what's going on with that energy. Is the Hierophant. So that is spiritual wisdom, religious beliefs, maybe looking at religious beliefs and how they are they working for you still? Are they not working for you? What's going on with that? It's maybe about conformity. So there may be some things coming up that make us want, that are forcing us to conform. It may be about traditions, could be about our personal belief systems, and what creates freedom in our lives. And about challenging the status quo, which Sagittarius is the sign of challenging the status quo. I do believe every Sagittarius I've ever met has never been a person that conforms. So it's interesting that Sagittarius brings that up, because it is a person who can see outside the box. So I think Sagittarius is trying to remind us that as we go through these issues, we start to get delays, we start to have confrontations, we're trying to bring love into the situation. Know that this transformation is about challenging your status quo, challenging the status quo all around us, and seeing outside of the box, seeing a different perspective, seeing a different way to move through this old energy. All right, Leo collective, which is also a fire sign. What are we getting there? Leo is about telling us that it's time to move on with motivation, with speed. So even though we're moving slowly here through our issues, that this moving on is fast. So I have seen that with some of the Geminis I've known, have been moving fast through some of their old life experiences and bringing in new things really quickly. I have seen that with people who have moved just recently. Things are moving really fast. I've seen it in my own life where it's like everything that I think manifests. Think manifest. So I have to be really careful lately about what I think, because I don't want negative things to manifest. I want to stay within the good manifestation. So Leo is saying that we've had the full moon illuminate some things. Now we're going to take it slowly, but we do need to move on for ourselves in haste, not looking back at the cups that we already have, but looking forward to the cups we're about to bring into our lives. About adding, Leo's talking about adding things into our lives and making room for the things that are coming in. Some of us have already made room, now we're just waiting for those blessings, but there's always opportunity to make more room in our lives and bring in more and more blessings, and balancing that. So we got these fire signs brought us this fiery energy. The red is Mars. Mars is the planet that brings motivation. So it's saying to be motivated about the status quo. Don't let, maybe I should put this down here. I don't know if you can see those. Don't let the status quo make you conform and to the things that are not making you happy. It's about your freedom and moving towards your freedom, moving towards the things that make you happy. Leo is about happiness. Leo is the sign of happiness. It is the sign of the sun. The sun card is Leo, which is happiness, all around happiness. So Leo's always concentrating on what can make them the happiest. And that we need to do as well as a collective. Okay, Virgo energy is about working hard. Working hard through the Mercury retrograde, focus on the things that you need to focus on. Don't be afraid of the things that come up for you. It is about change. Remember, we're changing. And it's about changing that loneliness that we felt inside and bringing in the spiritual union between you and God, between you and some lover or you and some parent, whatever the spiritual union is between you and yourself, those things right there. So it's about being diligent, and working hard and checking the details, and maybe even learning something new during this time. Like not necessarily like a new program, but just opening your eyes to seeing something in a different way during this retrograde would be really good as well. Cancer is bringing the energy of Page of Wands, which is now we finally have a card about communication. So can you see the last couple of months were really big on communication, and this month it's really about, I'm feeling really strongly like slowing down. You will have the communication, but it'll be more methodical. It will be more, because you're going to want to express yourself. And you do have good news coming in. We do have communication coming in. It is things that you can trust. Some people will get job offers. These are going to be job offers that you already applied for before the retrograde. Always check details. Will be about expressing yourself in writing. So for those of you guys who've been working on writing things, this would be a good time to do that, because you're going to have this slower moving energy on the planet. It's not going to feel like you have to rush through anything. It's more like, let's take our time with this and see where this is going to go, especially if it's a new relationship or a relationship that you have had before, but you guys are re-entering that. More than likely, it's not a new relationship because it's a retrograde. So retrograde is always going to be reunion. So it's going to be a reunion with someone, and if you do it, it's going to be something that you guys take some time over, okay, chatting with. Gemini, what's going on with you and your energy? What are you bringing forth? The Page of Cups. So yeah, here now we're starting to get the communication. This is interesting. Because before it was like just showing us that this energy was coming in, showing us that it is divinely guided and that it's going to take some time. And it's about our inner self-worth and balancing the things in our lives that we need to balance. But then eventually what's going to happen is what we're seeing is there's going to be some communication coming in that you can trust. And it's going to be revolving about love, good news, good money, your dreams coming true, about your intuition and just enjoying life. The Page of Cups is about happy surprises, and I've seen that with Geminis lately, so I love that. That's awesome. And about emotional maturity. So this is really good. It's about when somebody brings their love to someone else, they have to have the emotional maturity in order to do that. Because immaturity is fear and self-doubt and all of these things, but to bring someone a cup of love takes courage and it takes determination. And that's beautiful. Okay, Taurus, what's going on with you and what are you bringing into the situation? So Taurus is saying that with all of this coming in, as we reevaluate our lives, we can sometimes get discouraged. Sometimes we could take a look at our life and think, how do I fix this? How could I possibly fix what has happened or what I've allowed into my life? So this is the Five of Cups. And in the Five of Cups, we have some on the ground that are spilled and two that are still standing. I'm still standing. I'm just kidding. Anyway, so two that are still standing and three that are spilled over. And it is about, maybe some of you guys are going to be looking at loss and grief and mourning that loneliness, mourning the disappointment that came with that loss and regretting some of the things that have happened. But it's more about acceptance and accepting things and moving on. So there's the 5 stages of death and dying, which the last one is acceptance and moving on. And if you haven't found the acceptance and moving on, I feel like Mercury retrograde is going to help you with that energy so that you can find peace. It is about when we reevaluate our lives that we might run into some things that make us want to pause and say, okay, but remember that heartache and loss is bringing about the change. It's bringing about change from the loneliness that brought for that person or thing to leave. And loss can also be losing a job that you really you had for years. You could have a job for 17 years that you loved and all of a sudden lost it. And it's about mourning that and moving through that to balance your spirituality and your practicalness, your practicality, and that end of the tough cycle can finally end with this spiritual union, whatever that looks like for you. The last sign is Aries. And I'll pull some love cards, but I didn't feel really strongly about love. I felt a very openness about what's happening with us during the retrograde. But Aries is bringing in the King of Wands, which is about communication as well. So we have 3 cards of communication. It's not like the Gemini Mercury retrograde. We had just so much communication cards on the table. This is a little bit differently. It's more about balance. Like I said before, it's balancing all of this. So the communication that is coming in is going to be very balanced communication. The King of Wands, he is about wisdom and being open and self-aware. So someone's going to want to express themselves. Someone wants to free themselves by taking charge of this communication and coming in to talk about the heartache and the loss and the grief. And they may not talk about it right away, but when they do understand that it's taken a lot for this person to come forward to have this conversation, but the energy is here on the planet for that. The King of Wands is also about looking at the bigger picture and being a leader in the situation to overcome this challenge. It can be a bit of an impulsive energy, but that could be good because we do have the fire signs had brought in some fiery energy for us, because some of us are going to need a little bit of a kick in the butt in order to do those conversations. But I feel like, the expectations will be met. Okay, so that is, and that is Aries is a fire sign. So there you go. Aries is bringing in that motivation. So all 3 fire signs are bringing in a motivation of doing something. So although the energy is slower, there is a motivation. So the people that are having the reunions, there is a motivation to bring those unions together. I just want to ask if there's anything else that the universe would like to tell us about this retrograde. And we could dive into some love cards. I'll go ahead and pull some romance cards at the end for those of you, because we did have the lover's card at the beginning. So let's take a look at it. But I wasn't feeling really strong soulmate cycle stuff this time. Let me see. It's there, but I don't think it's for everybody. And here we go. I guess they do want me to dive into that, because we're reviewing our lives to bring in a reunion. So there we go. And about the Knight of Cups. So yes, some of you guys are. I didn't feel it strongly for everybody, but I do feel like there's people that are watching this video that do have, where you're reviewing your life, you're going to have some communication that comes in. This is the strongest card of lover communication. It is a super strong card about reunion and coming back together. It's about balance and equality. This time you guys will come back together with equality where you didn't have that before. And someone is bringing that cup of love. Now this is the second time we have someone bringing a cup. So the Knight of Cups is about relationships. It's about proposal. It's about romance, new friendships, being open to love, those types of things. So yes, it is a very strong energy for that. Not for everybody, but I do have the Ace of Wands, which is someone bringing their phallic symbol to someone, somebody bringing their love to someone again. 3 cards saying that someone is bringing love into this situation. The Ace of Wands is about a flash of inspiration. So a person could get a flash of inspiration to come and talk to you, to express themselves. They have had some anxiety about it in the past. I'm feeling like Mercury retrograde is bringing in an energy of comfort that will help them move past their anxiety in order to reach out and speak to you. So that's good, because we've had some signs have been waiting on people's questionable free will for them to come in. Now they've had the energy for months to come in and talk to them and still haven't. So if that's you, we got some beautiful energy for that coming in, a more stronger, compassionate, loving, balanced energy coming in to help this situation where this person can overcome that anxiety and come towards you. Okay, wow. It's definitely about somebody's got some romantic feelings for somebody. It's about romance. It's about flirting. So we're going to have some flirtatious stuff coming in. It's about living in your childhood perspective, the child, inner child. It's about honoring that inner child and having fun with the child, being a child again and freeing yourself through your childhood. And it's about getting to know each other. So yeah, there's definitely the energy that's supportive here. It's been here for a while, and some of your guys' people have not reached out. Some of you guys have had people reach out to you and you're like, oh my gosh, they reached out. And you know, very good. Like even the person in my soulmate cycle has not, or it could be my twin flame, I'm not sure exactly, depending on who you ask. But my person hasn't reached out either. And I know that they're coming. I've been told by many people, many mediums, that this person is coming, and I've been hearing it for months and months and months. But when the time is right, the person will come forward. We're all on different timelines. I keep seeing the energy in my own chart. I keep seeing the energy in my own cards that this person is coming forward, this person is coming forward, and yet this reunion has still not happened. So hopefully during the retrogrades, you guys, the person will get over this anxiety and bring in the conversations that need to be had for the both of you so that you guys can heal. Okay? So I hope that you like this reading, you're entertained in some way, and if you have not subscribed yet, I'd appreciate it if you did. Right here on the screen is the full moon in Pisces all signs reading that you can take a look at, and the playlist of my life issues. If you want to take a look at those while you're here at my channel, I'd appreciate that as well. You guys have a great day. Thank you so much for staying through all the noise that was happening upstairs so that we can get this reading out. And you guys have a wonderful Mercury retrograde. I will see you in the October readings. Bye.